Hi, this is Eugene, Freelance Mushrooms, and we help freelancers and small digital teams to succeed in their B2B businesses. Today we have David Verneuille from Black Badger Enterprises. David, in few words, can you tell what your business does? What do you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So Black Badger, we are project management software experts. That is basically, in the one sentence, what we do. That's my background. That's most of the team's background. So that's working with project management software. And now, obviously, we've expanded it a little bit into CRMs and ERPs because they are usually very tightly connected to the project management platform. But that's really like the project management software is a great foundation for teams to work collaboratively and push production for any business. So we found that to be the great starting point to get in, and that's really what we focus on.
Understood. Thank you. So if we go to yours on my Upwork profile, we'll see some fancy, good-looking numbers of total earnings over $1 million.
Yeah,
Can
yeah,
you tell when did you start your career on Upwork and why did you decide to quit?
yeah. So I started my Upwork career October 2020, and I was just started my business actually selling project management as a service. That was actually what I wanted to do, actually be a project manager, a remote project manager during COVID. And I
Full-time?
could
You were looking
not,
for a full-time job?
yeah, I had been working at a company when I decided I'm tired of working for other people. I'm
I
just gonna
see.
take the cold plunge and work for myself. And we could probably do a whole podcast on that because uh, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. Like I decided to work for myself, and I had like zero money. Not only did I have zero money, I had to go sell some stuff to make some business cards, and like those $9.99 Vista business cards. So, but I decided I'm doing it. I'm going to make it happen, and maybe this level of necessity will make me successful. So I started on Upwork saying, project manager. I have all this project manager experience. No one was biting, and finally, someone was like, "Hey, buddy, we don't need a project manager, but do you know project management software?" And I was like, "Sure do." And so I became a project management. Now I had been working in project management software a lot. I'd used a lot of programs, but I somehow never considered it as an avenue, you know? And so I was like, that's what I'm doing now. Just like that, I did a slight pivot and I started doing project management software. I changed my entire Upwork profile, everything about what I do to be project management software. And it took off from there. Like it just, as soon as I picked that niche and really boiled it down to the software, it went really well. And I started getting one client a month on Upwork.
Was there particular software?
They wanted Monday.com.
Monday.com. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's what I was doing, Monday.com. $45 an hour. That's how much I started at. And I was like, $45 an hour, that's awesome. That's, a little more than I was making as a professional project manager at a local large corporate company.
How many hours? The quantity of the hours. You can sell 2 hours, $45 each a month, or you can
Yeah.
sell
Yeah.
100 hours with $20 an hour rate. So what was the
Yeah.
story with the first and second and the third customer? How many hours actually they consumed?
Yeah. So that first customer, they're like, we want your attention as much as we can get of it. And I'm like, 10 hours a week? I was like hoping 10 hours a week, right? And they were like, we're thinking more like 30 or 40. And I'm like, beautiful. Absolutely. You have all of my hours. You have all of my attention. Let's do it. And so that first job kept me busy for about 2 months at 40 hours a week. And I was like, I'm making some money. It was a breath of fresh air because I coincidentally made the decision to go off on my own right as I met my then who became my wife, and she was here with me, and I had to borrow money to take her on a date. That's how broke I was. And then I was so like, I was bidding on every single job I possibly could on Upwork. I mean, if it didn't even make sense, I was like, you need project management software. They're like, I need my website built. And I'm like, you need project management software. And I just started bidding on everything, man. And I was doing 20 to 30 proposals a day. So I had that customer. And then it took me about a month to get customer number two. That was a small project, maybe a total of 20, 30 hours over a few weeks for Monday.com. And then it was just like, it just kept bidding. And then as I progressed through Upwork, so did my ability. And I was able to take on more clients, manage my work, etc. And then I was averaging 3 to 4 active clients at any given time. And I was legitimately working 60 to 70 hours a week.
I see. Very impressive story.
And no longer had to borrow. And I paid back everyone who lent me money so I could take my girlfriend on dates.
Very,
Yeah.
very impressive story. There could be another podcast episode with details how exactly you actually presented your broke situation to your future wife, that you are actually capable, and there is some nice picture over there.
Yeah. My Upwork profile picture is a picture she took of me on our first date, and I still have the same picture. I'm like, it's good luck. It's my good luck picture. I probably look a little different now from when I took that picture a few years ago.
Yeah.
But it's the same picture. That's my profile picture on Upwork.
I see. Very impressive. Very impressive. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, by the way, what I wanted to say is that when I remember I was helping someone to start their Upwork profile in 2018 and 2019. So you started 2020. Those were, again, similar realities. We couldn't get the profile off the ground without having some existing customer, hiring the person, like that, breaking the ice at the beginning. How did you do it?
You're just going to have to take a hit. It's my personal opinion. You're going to have to offer a rate that you think is lower than you would probably normally be willing to accept. Or it's probably going to be a rate thing, or you're going to have to offer them some sort of freebies. You need to give them something to set yourself above everyone else, and you just need to get some statistics on Upwork. Otherwise, you're just every other $0 earner. I'll be totally honest. I hire a lot of people on Upwork myself, and as soon as I see a $0, 90% of the time, I'm like, I skip them. And I'm like, man, I was there one time. And when I remember that I was that person one time, I will actually hire people occasionally who are 0 earners and give them a chance, because I was like, I was you.
Yeah.
And you're either going to do a good job or you're not. I hope you do a good job.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. So why to quit? You've achieved some impressive results within, I don't know, what was that, 2 or 3 years when you decided that, I mean, you haven't quit Upwork, I assume. You still are closing deals
fully,
there.
No.
Yeah, but it's not your primary focus. What was the reason and motivation to go elsewhere and do elsewhere? I mean, it's convenient when you have established profile, customers are just finding you, it gets customer acquisition cost is very acceptable. It's more like your time of searching for that customer, and you can create an agency there. I mean, there are all sorts of different nice opportunities. Why to spend your calories, energy, and time do something else?
Sure. Upwork could disappear. It could. Any software could disappear, and I laid all of my eggs in that basket. Anything could have happened, and I was making 100% of all of my revenue through Upwork. And I was a little scared about that. I was like, I need other customers. I need people to find me. This isn't going to work. Then the other thing I noticed was, personally, what I don't like about Upwork now is when Upwork first started, it was all about find US-based talent. I was like, great, now I don't need to compete on Fiverr. I don't need to compete in all these other platforms that are designed for hiring overseas talent. And Upwork was designed to be hire US talent. And so it was great because those were customers who wanted to use me. It was beautiful. Then it just turned into, honestly, another, like, US talent is not really as big anymore. And I saw it coming, and people would be like, well, why would I hire you when you're 3 times the price of someone overseas? And I'm like, well, I thought you came to Upwork to hire US talent. They're like, no, I just came to Upwork to hire talent, period. I'm like, okay. So Upwork even changed their messaging, and it no longer was hire US talent, it was hire talent. And I'm like, so I'm no longer, basically I was no longer special. And I was like, I don't feel good about that. And I'm like, I started losing a lot of work. And it's not to say anything about their capabilities. It was just, this was supposed to be my platform for me as a US, being in the US. So I was like, it's not sustainable. I just need to actually reach out, put on my big boy pants and start talking to other people and, getting out there and marketing my own business. And I did. And now I get about 5% of my business from Upwork, if that. Now, don't get me wrong, I still love Upwork's cost of acquisition when I do get clients is still fantastic. And I think it's actually a lot cheaper than having to go market and do all my own stuff. So from that perspective, I'll never drop it because it was my original successful action. And I would be stupid to do that unless they just say there's no more US talent on this platform until that
No,
day when
no.
they say no more US talent, I will be on Upwork, period. Because I
Yeah,
do get work from there. And I've
I
found
see.
some of my best clients from Upwork.
That's interesting what you say about US talent thing because I personally had my profile registered there in 2009 when it was Odesk and Elance. I had profiles on both of the platform and I stayed with them through their migration to just Upwork and etc. I was living back then in Ukraine, and that's where I'm originally from. And I never had a feeling it was designed just particularly to the US. I always felt special right from the start because of the completely opposite thing, because the work was coming to me from the US. And now, when I moved to Canada a couple of years ago, actually my conversion rates and by other metrics, they grew. I mean, we're a bit in the different categories. I'm more in design, video production. But still, I saw a boost in comparison with when my profile had Ukrainian location and now when it has Canadian location. Currently, in 2024, I don't think it really actually matters. And now I get it what you are saying. I started to feel that location stopped being item in the equation, right?
Yeah.
So, but before actually
Or location is more about what time zone you're in and not about the fact
yeah,
that you're
yeah,
overseas. They're just like,
yes,
I want to talk
yeah,
to you during my regular work hours. That's all that they care about at this point.
yeah, I see. Anyways, so you decided to quit. What did you do next?
So I started marketing. And by marketing, I didn't do marketing because I was terrified of marketing and the idea of my face being out there. It was not pleasurable. I can't think of how much I don't want to put myself out there. And I was like, how am I going to get leads and customers without talking to them or saying anything? It's like the weight loss pill. How do I lose weight without while still eating pizza and donuts and never exercising? That was me on the subject of marketing. I was like, how do I not do anything and get new deals? And obviously it didn't work. So the first thing that I started with, which was more comfortable for me, was talking to friends and people I already knew and felt comfortable talking to and saying, hey, do you guys know I do this? Hey, I do this. I joined a couple Facebook groups in my local community, primarily consisting of people I know. And I felt more comfortable just doing a quick post or a video because they knew me. And so I was like, I can do this. This is easy. That's where I started. And from there, it was a lot of word of mouth. Oh, and I did actually get a lot of word of mouth from Upwork. Like those Upwork clients told their friends and they just reached out to me directly. So I didn't actually need an Upwork contract of any kind.
Did you
And that's how I
request
started
them?
getting them.
Yeah, by the way, it's important matter. If you ask your
Yeah.
Upwork client for a referral and they refer you to a different organization, you can charge that organization outside of the platform, which is
Yep.
quite amazing. Anyways,
Yep.
did you specifically ask for the referral from your customers? So did they just bring it by
At first, I wasn't
themselves?
asking. First, I wasn't asking. I never even asked them, hey, did you like my service? Not because I think I did a bad job, or I more was just, I was like embarrassed if they said anything bad because I was trying so hard. And the idea, it's like asking, you don't want to get rejected by a girl if you ask her out on a date. For me, it was like, I'm giving this project my all. And if I ask them how it's going and they're like, it's okay, it'll break my heart. And I can't feel that. Anyway, I got over that one real quick because that one's more often than not, people were like, oh yeah, we love working with you. And I was like, oh, okay, I feel so much better now because I thought you hated me for some reason, I don't know. So I started asking them, do you have any more work for me? I routinely reach out to them on Upwork. Hey, what do you have? Do you know anyone who could use this service? And I just started in the Upwork chat saying that. And then every once in a while, they'd say yes, they'd share their personal email, or they just tell them to contact me directly, and they would. I went through a bit of like a wave period where every time they contacted me outside, I would say, like their referrals, I would say, let's not go through Upwork,
Yeah,
which was
absolutely.
fine.
Yeah.
But then I went back and I was like, no, let's go through Upwork. I'm trying to hit the $1 million mark. I want to hit the $1 million mark. This is a very important milestone. So I actually then started forcing all of this back into Upwork so I could make those milestones. Not to mention, there is obviously a nice, warm, fuzzy feeling in my stomach knowing I'm going to get paid every week, which you don't get when you're sending clients invoices and they're going through their, bills payable,
Yeah.
and they just
Yeah.
might decide not to pay you that week or next month. So Upwork gave me the stability of knowing, oh, I'm getting money in. So I feel a little bit better about it. Anyway, okay, so fast forward a little bit. I'm now back onto if I get them on Upwork, they stay on Upwork, obviously.
Okay.
I only get about 5% of my work on Upwork. Otherwise, completely self-sustained. I could lose Upwork tomorrow and not particularly feel it.
Yeah, so let's go back to you made a few posts on Facebook. You've asked a few of your customers on Upwork to give referrals. You did that, but that doesn't put you to 95% of business and only 5% from Upwork. So how do you acquire customers? How did you acquire customers afterwards?
So this is an interesting one because it was primarily word of mouth. I keep track of all of my statistics of where did every single deal close from. And I can tell you actual people who reached out through Facebook or LinkedIn or social media was maybe 10 or 15%. Everyone else was return business who then was so happy with consistent good work that they referred me to someone else. Almost 60 to 70% of all of my business is word of mouth. Even that is great and all, but it's not always sustainable because sometimes they're not feeling chatty this week or next week. So it makes you a little less, you don't control it. You can't control when they say good things about you. And so then more recently, me and you hooked up and I'm getting into other marketing actions.
I see. And which year did you decide to quit Upwork?
I
mean, not to quit, but
to really turn it off. Mid last year, almost a year ago.
Okay, almost a year ago. Now, how many sales did you need a month to keep your business growing at that time?
How many sales?
How many?
I would say
new clients. 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 20.
Minimum 6.
Minimum 6. Okay.
Yep.
And currently you are finding, let's say, 5 out of 6 customers outside of the platform. And I remember you previously mentioned the story you started doing content marketing, like writing articles. Are those efforts paid off?
No, not really, honestly. Although I can say as well, I haven't followed through on every aspect. That's kind of on me. It's not to say that it's a bad idea. I still think it's a brilliant idea. I just put it on pause temporarily because I had other brilliant ideas and I'm kind of like a squirrel, and I ran off and I'm doing the next best thing. So I've written over 200 articles. Most of them are indexed now.
By yourself?
Oh, please, no, I don't have time for that. I started doing it and then I'm like, I have so many things I have to do. I can't possibly write this many articles. So I actually bought a ton of courses on how to do it. They were great courses. I did the courses. I started writing and I'm like, I'm never going to get this done. So I hired someone to do them for me and he was doing about 10 to 15 a week.
And how much did you pay for article for one?
Per article? To do an actual real good article, it should take someone 4 to 8 hours. for a halfway
48
decent
hours.
article.
And then
Yeah.
it depends on the type of talent you hire, obviously.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I made this person get through, and I paid for them to go through all of the courses that I bought so they knew what to do. And they did it. And I think that they actually followed it quite well. The articles are good. We just didn't do that. The only thing we haven't done is we just haven't executed the backlink strategy. At the end of the day, any article is only so good, and backlinks are what make articles at the end of the day. And so we went a little too hard on writing articles and we just focused on that so much. Then it was like, why are none of these ranking? Or like 1 out of 20 would rank in the top 10 on Google search, but the rest were like 50, 60. And it's like, oh, well, it's because there's no backlinks. So I'm going to pick this back up shortly. But it's just going to be to start executing the backlink strategy. That's all. That's really like everything we did was great and awesome. Just needs the backlinks.
And then when I met you, basically you were looking to start your video blogging career, right? And record a bunch of videos. All of a sudden now you are comfortable with your face on the camera and be in the face of your business and everything. And what's the strategy over there?
Sure. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay. I remember when I gave you my first batch of videos, and I literally paid you for them, and you wrote to me. You're like, I've noticed you haven't even looked at these, and you marked them as approved and paid me. And I'm like, I can't look at myself. I can't even look at myself to approve these videos. And so this is where I'm at, okay? This is where I'm at when it comes to the subject of recording myself. I can record myself. I have no problem talking. That took a long time to get over, honestly. I can do it.
Long time.
And
when
I
you
just
say
don't
long
review them. I
time.
actually give the videos to my business partner.
Yeah.
He critiques them. And
I see.
he's the one who gives their critiques. And I'm just like, I'm just producing. I'm just making videos. He has to handle, or you have to handle the edits and everything, but once I make them, I'm done. I'm out of there.
What was the strategy behind this? So you did 200 articles. You still have something to finish in that direction, but now you switch to video. What's your expectation and what's the strategy?
Right now, I'm going to pick up the backlinks on the articles here soon. By the way, that's a separate company altogether. Like I created a completely separate company for that.
Separate brand? It's not Black Badger Enterprises?
No, it's actually not Black Badger. No. It's a company called Everything in Tech. And it's an affiliate site. Or as the kids these days call it, an authority site. It's called Everything in Tech.
I see.
Completely
So it's similar,
different brand, company, everything.
So it's similar, for example, there is a website called Time Management, which is a similar website for Time Doctor. The original business is Time Doctor, but they created a time management website to influence time management skills. Is it the same strategy, correct?
Same strategy. So I can capture people's attention from multiple angles.
I see. I see.
So, yeah. And then getting into the YouTube space is my logic on that and how I pick a lot of the things that I record. And obviously they're getting better and I'm always working to make better content. Is someone gave me, I don't remember where I saw this, but it was like I would go to Google and search in my specific software niche. Can Monday.com do and let it autofill and show all the suggestions? And I would start answering all those questions and making videos on it. And that's how I started making. That's like, okay, that's a quick video. Make a quick video on how to do this, how to do that. Can Monday.com integrate with Outlook? Sure can. This is how it works. Made a quick video on it. So, and that was me, by the way, like no forethought, no scripting, no anything, just making a video. That's it. I didn't, I'm getting better at making scripts and really coming out with, I have some really good quality content coming out, including really revamping and making new courses, which is another thing. I'm always doing like 10 things at once. But yeah, so that's going to be a lot more specific content while I will continue making general informational YouTube videos.
The strategy with articles was to create info website which will influence people's ideas regarding project management, and that's how they end up hiring Black Badge enterprises. The same strategy with videos, as far as I understand. You want to share your experience to establish yourself as a trustworthy and knowledgeable person in the area to capture your target audience, and then they buy your service. So this is basically doing the same thing, but in video space.
Except, yes, the videos are part of Black Badger. That's not a separate entity. It's not a separate company. And I will also add, having a separate company and brand and everything for the blog articles means I can create my own internal backlinks. So as one brand grows, I bring the other brand with it. So it's at this point, while they're both small, it's very minor in terms of the gain I'm getting, but that was thought through why I created a separate brand for it. So they are slowly bringing each other up as we reference each other's articles. So Black Badger has its own articles as well, but they're a lot more about the finite technicalities of the software, like help articles, how to do this, how to do that, versus everything in tech is all about why you should pick Monday.com, generalized features that get someone to sign up so I can get an affiliate commission.
By the way, this is also an interesting question. Why should you pick Monday.com? I use Asana, and sometimes I feel happy about it. Like there are other people are using ClickUp and you name it. So why Monday.com? Look at this at the perspective of a small team who is just making the decision about that software and who will grow up to 50 people within the upcoming 2 or 3 years. So why would Monday.com or any other is better over the other?
Sure. So they're all slightly different. And because of that, one of them is not particularly perfect. They all are more unique to a specific category. If you want them just for general task management, they're all fantastic. And it honestly comes down to like, which one do you think has the prettiest colors at that point? If you're not doing anything really specific, go for it. I don't really care which one you pick. But if you're like, oh, I'm a marketing team in a large company, you need to go with Reich. I am a small sales team, and we just want to prioritize simplicity and look and feel over tons of complex features. Go to Monday.com. Go to Monday CRM. That's the perfect tool for you. I want Monday on steroids, which means it doesn't look quite as nice, and there's all these extra features while having a Monday-esque look. That's ClickUp. I want software that integrates it with QuickBooks and is designed for professional service organizations as its primary client base. I would recommend Teamwork. They all have different niches. I've worked with all of them. They're all amazing. And it really comes down to finding the one that's specific to you, which, by the way, I'm making an entire course where I'm going to tell everyone how we do this process. How do we tell you what's the right software to use, especially if you want to be very specific and you don't want to just be like, oh, I'm just going to go spend $20,000 on something. I hope it works. We have like a 98% use rate of the software we recommend because of high adoption. So when we pick a software for the customer, they're certain that it's going to work, and it does. So the point is, if you want to use Monday.com for a general small business, for general task management and team collaboration, Monday's perfect. There's nothing, that it won't particularly do very easily and very simply, especially if you're using very simple workflows. If you want something complex, your team's bigger, you really want to make sure your budget and your dollars are going towards the right product, that's where we would have done consulting with someone. Or our soon-to-be released course will tell you exactly how you find the right product and like the 400 steps we go through to qualify your business and all the features to give you the right product.
I see. Well, currently on my team, we have over 30 people, but we started using Asana from day one. At which point of company's existence or business processes, usually your customers reach you out when they're only trying to make a decision to choose their software, or when they already have some business processes in place? Can you give some examples?
It's 50-50, honestly. There's people who come to me saying, we know we are in need of this software. We need project management software.
I see. And
We've
they
already
don't
had
have any
demos,
now.
and they don't have anything now. Or if they are in one, they already know it's not going to work. Their contract's up and they're not renewing. And they're like, so they'll either say we had a bad experience and we cannot repeat that, or we have bad experience just using like Excel or nothing. So we need help because Monday gave us a demo, Asana gave us a demo, ClickUp gave us a demo, Teamwork gave us a demo, Zoho gave us a demo, and we don't know what to pick because at the end of the day, we were so, after we got all those demos, we're even more confused than when we started. I think to myself, perfect. This is why I exist. And then I go, oh yeah, okay, that's terrible. We can help you with that. And we do. We understand their processes and their workflows, and we know the intricacies of every product so thoroughly that what we want to accomplish is that the customer can use that software without changing their business. Because if you need to, if the software's like, oh, the software can't do that, you're going to have to change your processes. That is the biggest headache in the world, and you shouldn't have to do that. It should just work. So, okay, so they're either coming to me with, we don't know what we want, help us pick. So we'll do that. Or they'll say, we are already in Asana Monday, and we know we're not getting the full value out of the product. I feel like we barely use it. We use it for the most simplistic and mundane activities, and like with how much money we're spending, we expect greater gains. And that's where we will do, okay, great. How are you using it? What are you doing? And we will fully evaluate their business processes to say, these are all of the inefficiencies that could be very easily fixed with the product you're currently using. And then we would implement them.
Understood. Cool. Speaking of efficiency, I remember when we had an initial call when you were considering me to hire for the post-production services, you said something which was nearly like a disappointment for me in the sales call. You said, I'm going to record 30 videos. And I was like, that's another customer who said, because when people say such numbers like 30, 50, 100 videos, I already know they'll produce 3, then they will lose any impulse and it's gonna stop. And you actually had, we had quite a bit of delay between our first point of contact and the actual first batch. And there were so many questions. I was thinking, when he will finally start recording? That was
I sent you like 60, didn't I?
Yeah.
I think I sent you almost 60. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the difference, between you and those other people who stopped doing at 3? Is there a particular system, methodology which you are using? How do you overcome all of those challenges with, with articles, videos,
it's very simple. It's very simple. If you are by yourself, this is going to be impossible. So luckily for me, I have a business partner, and I told him, your job is to make me do this. No matter what I say or do, kicking or screaming, which there was some of that. And I just said, I was like, you need to run the production. And basically, I would go to his house, we would set everything up, and I'd be like, okay, good. Oh, wait, I forgot I have a meeting. I have a call. My baby, my baby coughed a little weird. I gotta go. Let's film next week. And his job was to force me through it. And it was literally just having a 2-terminal universe, a 2-pole universe of there was me making everything go wrong and him saying no and slapping me every time I came up with an excuse. And that was it. He just forced me to record. That was it. Sit down, shut up, start recording. And then I would be like, oh, the audio's messed up. Oh, I don't like, and he'd be like, already uploaded. Too late. Already done. Too late. And I was kind of like, oh, okay, I guess I can't do anything then. So that literally helps me get over it. It's just forcing yourself to do it, whether you like it or not.
And have someone to help you enforce it.
And have someone to help you. Honestly, I needed a lifeline. I needed someone to walk me through this because I would never have done it by myself.
I see. If you didn't have a business partner, would your wife be able to do that for you?
Oh man, we might have divorced. Who knows? because I was
You
I
wouldn't
was
recommend
difficult.
it, yeah?
I would not recommend. Don't use your spouse, okay? Oh, you know what you should use? You should use like a brother or a sister because they will be
Uh-huh.
so rough with you, and they'll be like, "Stop it, knock it off," and they'll say the things that you don't want to hear, but you need to hear to honestly get your button moving and making the content. Because my business, man, we got into arguments too. And it was honestly just me being like, I can't do it. And I'm like trying to get out of my shell. And I was ready to descend my shell of like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And he was like, shut up and just start talking. And it worked. It worked. So if you don't have a business partner, find someone who's willing to put up with you and help and have them help you make your videos, record you. Don't let you go off and find every excuse not to do it. They will help you get through it. And then they just need to upload things as soon as they're done and not let you even see them, and that is what got me through the initial step.
I see. I see. Cool.
Now I
Cool
can
story.
record
Great
completely on
suggestion.
myself. I can record right by myself. Our setup is now I can completely do everything on my own. I still have a little difficulty reviewing it myself, looking at my own face, but I can completely record and have no problems doing that now.
Understood. Understood. Cool. Cool. Sounds very inspiring and good
Yeah,
tips.
I hope so.
If we go back in time to 1st of January 2020, right, and you were to start this business all over again, what would you do differently?
I would have done 3 to 4 things differently. The first is I would not have changed Upwork. Upwork was a brilliant idea. I feel like I got on at the right time, and I would not have changed that. I would have gotten over this weird idea of like asking for reviews and telling people to recommend and refer me.
You mean stop being
would have-
shy
I would-
about it?
Stop being shy about it and just being like, hey,
And,
you know,
and I think you can't really succeed on Upwork without actually at least hinting to the review. It's against their policy to directly ask customer to leave you 5 stars. But the way we do it, for example, we would say, I would appreciate you could end the contract. I personally am going to leave you 5-star all over the place because you are an amazing customer. Would be great to see something like the same, although that still could be considered as some sort of a violation, but you actually have to go through it, otherwise you can't succeed there. Because 5-star reviews are going to define your future sales.
Absolutely. I just have to say this really quick because this just happened this morning. We had a customer who one of my staff was kind of like, I don't know if they're happy. And I'm like, what do you mean? And then we kind of were just like, what's the deal? I sent them a Google review form and they sent us a 5-star review just this morning. Black Badger has been a trusted partner for all of our Zoho applications for several years now. Together, we've implemented Zoho Creator to manage our budget, desk, and replace a different ticketing system that was outdated. Great group of folks to work with. And for some reason, they were me back in the day where I was too shy to ask for a review. And I was like, no, I'm sending her a review. I know she's happy. I know we did a good job. And I did it. And she sent me a 5-star review 2 hours later. So I definitely would have gotten over that shyness. There's another aspect. If you did a bad job, that's one thing. If you know you did a good job, ask them for a review, So that's one of the things. And then the last thing is I would have gotten over this button and shyness of recording myself a lot earlier, and I would have made a lot more content a lot earlier on.
How would it make things different?
I feel like there's all of these brilliant ideas that I'm having now that I see other partners succeeding on. They weren't doing it at the time. I literally knew it was a good idea at the time, and I didn't do it. Like making courses, making my own Monday.com courses, Zoho courses, I even said, I'm going to make courses and it's going to happen. And then I was like, I'm too camera shy. I can't do it. And someone else went ahead and did it and made millions of dollars. And I'm not going to lie, their courses are not that good. So I'm kind of like, man, I should have just done it. Like, why couldn't I get over the shyness of being on camera to make a course?
And how did they make those millions of dollars? By selling the course, or by selling the course and then getting customers out of that course?
Making YouTube content, which
Okay.
drove them to the course. And it was
Okay.
all primarily course sales
So
and
this
service.
is
Obviously, like they'll sign up for the course maybe to start and then say, oh, it's too difficult. We realize we don't want to become experts. Can you build everything for us? Because we trust you, because we saw you made a course. That's the other benefit of having course content and also being a professional implementer yourself. It's not just you can do my course, and if you don't like the course, get out of here. It's we're also experts. So if the course isn't working for you, we will help you.
And what are the marks of success, or what are the indications that you are doing the right thing with this video marketing currently? You already have posted quite a bit of videos. Can you give us, you've been doing this for half a year, I assume.
It's the correlation of all of the of what is happening. Like I look at the views, and directly coincidental to the views, I was like, well, no one's particularly honestly leaving a lot of comments on my videos. I don't feel like I'm getting anything from videos, but every time I'll post a video that gets hundreds of views in an hour or two, my website traffic spikes. And then I start getting web forms, and I have people booking calls directly on my website. And I'm like, that's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that every time I release a new video, within 72 hours, 1, 2, 3, 5 people go to my website and book calls with me. That is not a coincidence. So I didn't get disheartened by YouTube. I'm going to keep making more content, because as long as I keep doing these actions, as long as I see it come from anywhere, I don't care where it comes from, but it is going up every time, like the number of leads and the number of calls and the number of people who want to talk to me is going up as a direct result of how much marketing activity I do. I don't care where it comes from. I just want the deals to come in, and they're coming in. So to me, that's the only indicator of success I need.
What
And if that's not happening, I would change stuff,
And what kind of courses did you take which shaped your vision about how to do video production? Can you name those?
Yeah. So it's a lot of general YouTube content, but I did both the Authority Hacker course. By the way, I'm not affiliated with them in any way, shape, or form. I just did the affiliate Authority Hacker. I did 2 courses. They're probably considered 2 of the biggest affiliate marketing courses, and they brought up a lot of things about the importance of YouTube content and how that YouTube content is a driver. And then also that's one of those courses where I got the idea on going onto Google and searching what people are looking for by using Google's like automated auto-populate. And that's how I could find what would be a good idea to make content for. So from those courses, that's what helped me drive both of these. Like, good, I'm going to do articles over here, and I'm going to do YouTube content over here, because I want them, no matter where they go, in my perfect world, I'm not even close to being there yet. If they search for something in Monday.com, one of the products I'm a partner with, I want them to see my website, I want them to see my affiliate articles, and I want them to see my YouTube videos, and I want them all right on top.
And then,
so it doesn't matter what they pick.
And then Monday.com link, huh?
And then Monday.com, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I see. What would be top 2 courses which you would recommend regarding articles? You mentioned you also took a few.
Oh, Adam Onfroy, which is Blog Growth Marketer. So it's Adam Onfroy, Blog Growth Marketer, and Gail Breton with Authority Hacker. Those are the top 2 courses I'd recommend. Those gave me the idea to do YouTube content. Are you talking about a video on how to make YouTube content?
Yes.
Okay. I don't really have anything I would recommend just yet. I'm still sifting through it myself, honestly.
I see.
I'm just saying those 2 courses got me into and gave me a lot of great ideas about YouTube, and was the catalyst for me to start making YouTube content. In terms of a great YouTube course, I don't have one I would recommend just yet.
Once you decide making YouTube videos, I would usually recommend using vidIQ Academy, which you have access to after you start paying for the plugin. They have some short and to the point courses which will help you to choose the hardware and how to choose the topic, how to post the videos, etc., etc., etc.
Yep. I've heard of that one, and it's on my list of courses to do.
I see. Cool. All right. Thank you, David. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
And
No worries.
yeah, this was Freelance Mushrooms. Hopefully you'll find these tips for your freelance and small team B2B business useful. Stay in touch.
Thanks.